Thank you to Pique for sponsoring. More on them later. Join me for some practical homemaking in today's video. Jennifer here, and welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. I need to do some chores around the house today, starting with window cleaning. This sliding glass door gets smudged up with little handprints often, so I need to take care of this before I do anything else. I feel like having a nostalgic dish today. Tuna casserole. I place my egg noodles in a pot to boil, and then I prepare the other ingredients. I'm listening to music today. I often have my AirPods in. Listening to things gives me much comfort as I go about my work. At the bottom of my red bowl is 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup and 2 cans of drained tuna. I add the cooked egg noodles on top. Then I add shredded cheese, chopped onion, and chopped olives. I vary the ingredients based on what I have. Then I place this in a greased casserole dish and prepare the topping. I crush some Ritz crackers and mix together with melted butter and sprinkle this on top of my casserole. While this dish bakes, it's time to clean up. How comforting are these rituals? The creation of a recipe, especially comfort food, baking in the oven, while clearing up the space. It is these everyday rituals that bring cozy comfort to my life. The tuna casserole is finished baking, and while it cools slightly, I wander outside to chop herbs from the garden. I first need to stop and admire these beautiful long-stemmed roses that are the gift that keep on giving. They are so glorious. It seems that their sole purpose lately is to make me stop in my tracks and breathe in the beauty around me. I looked for parsley in our garden, but I couldn't find any, so I clipped some chives. I also found a few garden tomatoes that will go nicely with our dish. To serve the casserole, I top with chopped chives and serve with sliced homegrown tomatoes with a dash of salt. Comfort food at its finest. As you know, we have white sofas in our living room. How do I have white sofas with little children, you ask? It's not the most practical choice after all. For daily life, we cover the sofas with throw blankets. If you saw the home tour from my mother-in-law's house in England, she does the same thing with her sofas. But in her case, she covers them because her dogs will sit on the sofas. I used to cover my sofas with white throws to match, but I wanted a bit of a change. I've been watching interior design videos on a channel called Cultured Elegance with Faith. I'll leave her channel down below. I was inspired by the homes of Oscar de la Renta and Yves Saint Laurent. I noticed that they use a bold mix of patterns in their homes, oftentimes using leopard. I've always loved leopard as a print with clothing, accessories, and in homes, so I found these inexpensive leopard throws on Amazon, and I bought 2 to use to cover the sofas, and I actually love how they look. They remind me of the fashion designer home tours that I've looked at, and they add a nice personality to the room. When getting practical about homemaking, like covering up white sofas so they don't get dirty, I like to turn the practicality into a fun adventure. It's those little things that make homemaking so enjoyable. I'm going to take a minute to tell you about Pique, who have kindly sponsored today's video. I often experience a mid-afternoon slump, so this is my favorite time to make a matcha latte. Pique's Sun Goddess Matcha is the absolute best matcha for my skin and energy. Pique's teas are quadruple toxin screened for purity, and they use the highest quality ingredients for effective results. They come with pre-measured sachets and dissolve in both hot and cold water. The Sun Goddess Matcha is ceremonial grade, organic, and delicious with a creamy umami flavor. Here I'm making it with hot almond milk and a dash of honey. All frothed together, this is the creamiest treat. For a limited time, get 15% off plus a free rechargeable frother and cup when you shop my link, piquelife.com/Daily Connoisseur. I'm going to enjoy my matcha latte now. Thank you so much to Pique for sponsoring this video. There's a storm outside today. Living in California, storms are rare, so when they come, I just love reveling in them and listening to the rain fall on the eaves outside. And now, time to get some work done on my computer. When I work, I fall down a portal that is all my own. I really love deep work. It is necessary to my everyday happiness and well-being. It's how I write my books and the scripts for YouTube. It is where I create and come alive. This reminds me of something author Clarissa Pinkola Estes wrote in Women Who Run with the Wolves. The psyches and souls of women also have their own cycles and seasons of doing and solitude, running and staying, being involved and being removed, questing and resting, creating and incubating, being of the world, and returning to the soul place. When I am writing, I truly feel as though I am returning to the soul place. I treasure these moments when the thoughts from my imagination can be written down. Let's do some more cooking together. I have a healthy recipe for you that was inspired by Dan Buettner's Live to 100, Secret of the Blue Zones show. More on that in a second, but first I'm preparing some butternut squash and sliced onion for roasting by rubbing the vegetables in olive oil and sprinkling with salt and pepper. I put them in the oven at 400 degrees. Then, in my Le Creuset cooks oven, I'm placing some hominy, black beans, chopped celery, salt and pepper, and chopped fresh cilantro to taste. I've read Dan's books on the Blue Zones, which are the places in the world where people live the longest and healthiest lives. I've always been interested in the concept of the three sisters as explored in Nicoya, Costa Rica. The three sisters are squash, beans, and corn, and they make up a large part of the Nicoyan diet. But Costa Ricans are not the only ones who enjoy this healthful combination. Native Americans, as well as other indigenous peoples in Central and South America, have enjoyed this for centuries, including Panamanians, where my culture is from. They make it a large part of their diet. Once the beans and hominy are cooked, I add the roasted butternut squash and onions and mix it all together, topping it with a bit more cilantro. This is a warm salad that is so delicious. The sweetness of the caramelized butternut squash adds a dynamic flavor. I made up this recipe based on what I had in my pantry. You can certainly modify it to fit what you have. Part of what makes practical homemaking fun is experimenting in this way, especially with cooking. What a joy! I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you to Pique for sponsoring. For a limited time, get 15% off plus a free rechargeable frother and cup when you shop my link, piquelife.com/Daily Connoisseur. Thank you for watching today. Keep calm and remain classy, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Love, Jennifer.